Most men have no idea what they are doing with their bodies. You walk up to a woman, you wrap your arms around her, and in less than 2 seconds, you have unknowingly told her everything she needs to know about your insecurities. You have screamed that you are harmless, that you are needy, that you are just a friend, and just like that. Her biological attraction to you evaporates, gone, because you treated a hug like a polite greeting instead of what it actually is, a biological assessment. Welcome to Mind Before Skin. Today, we are stripping away the polite lies of society, and we are looking at the raw evolutionary wiring of the female brain. We are going to talk about the most underrated weapon in your arsenal, the hug, not the side hug you give your aunt, not the bro hug you give your friends, but the kind of embrace that hijacks a woman's nervous system, the kind that triggers a flood of oxytocin and dopamine, making her feel an addiction she cannot logically explain. There is a concept in psychology called skin hunger. It is a primal starvation for touch. Most women are walking around in a state of touch deprivation. They are guarded. They are armoured up against a world that wants something from them. When you hug her the way 99% of men do, you are just another demand. You're just another weight she has to carry. But when you do it right, when you execute the 3 psychological triggers I'm about to show you, you become the only place in the world where she can let go. You become her drug. This isn't about being creepy. It is not about forcing intimacy. It is about mastering the transfer of energy. If you are ready to stop being a nice guy and start being a man who understands the language of the body, then pay close attention. Because once you learn this, you will never touch a woman the same way again. Before we build the perfect embrace, we must burn down the bad habits you have spent a lifetime practicing. You need to understand why she pulls away, why she gives you that polite smile that doesn't reach her eyes. It starts with the physics of your approach. Let's talk about the lean. Observe the average man when he goes in for a hug. His feet stop 2 feet away from her, but his upper body leans forward. He cranes his neck. He's literally tipping over to reach her. Do you know what this signals to the primitive female brain instability? You're off your center of gravity. You're falling into her, and subconsciously, she feels the need to catch you. She feels your weight. Instead of you being a rock she can lean on, you become a burden she has to support. It screams submission. It screams, I hope you accept this touch. A grounded man does not lean. He steps in, he brings his feet close, his spine is vertical, he is an oak tree. He does not bend to the world. The world comes to him. Then comes the second killer of attraction, the pat. I call this the pat of death. You wrap your arms around her, and then your hand starts doing this rhythmic tapping on her back. Pat, pat, pat. Gentlemen, stop a bit. Right now, do you know who you pat? You pat a golden retriever. You pat a confused child. You pat your grandmother at a funeral. The pat is a non-sexual platonic signal. It is a nervous tick. It tells her that you are uncomfortable with the silence of the moment. You are uncomfortable with the intimacy, so you create a rhythm to distract yourself. It breaks the energy flow. It turns a moment of connection into a generic greeting. When you pat her back, you're friend-zoning yourself before she even has the chance to decide. And finally, the rush. The nice guy hug lasts exactly 0.8 seconds. He grabs, he squeezes, he releases immediately like he just touched a hot stove. Why the rush? Because holding a woman close triggers your anxiety. You are afraid of lingering too long. You're afraid of being perceived as creepy. You are managing her reaction instead of owning your desire. This rapid release tells her that you are not safe in your own skin. If you cannot tolerate the tension of holding her for 3 seconds, how are you going to handle the tension of sex? How are you going to handle the tension of a conflict? You can't. And she knows it. All of these behaviors stem from one root cause: validation seeking. The nice guy hugs to get something. He hugs to get reassurance that she likes him. He hugs to follow the social script. He is taking, he is asking, he is pleading. Real desire is not built on taking. It is built on offering a container, a space where she feels smaller than you, where she feels protected, where she feels enveloped. When you lean, pat and rush, you are failing to provide that container. You are just another nervous man invading her personal space. We are going to change the intent. We are going to shift from please like me to I have you. The difference is invisible to the eye, but to a woman's nervous system is the difference between a boy and a man, between a friend and a lover, now that we have diagnosed the disease. Let's look at the cure. Let's look at the chemicals we're about to unleash in her brain. You cannot negotiate desire. You cannot logic a woman into wanting you. Attraction is not a decision. It is a chemical reaction, and to trigger it, you must understand the war happening inside her body. Every single day, the modern woman is flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone. It creates a hum of anxiety in the background of her life. Her guard is up, her scanning mechanisms are active. She is looking for threats, she is looking for demands, and here is the biological reality you must accept. Cortisol is the enemy of arousal. When a woman is in a state of high stress, her body shuts down the pathways to sexual desire. She physically cannot feel turned on if she does not feel safe. This is the safety paradox. Men often confuse safety with boredom. You think if you make her feel too safe, she will see you as a brother. You are wrong. There are two kinds of safety. There is the safety of the weak. The I won't hurt you because I can't safety. That is boring, that is repulsive. And then there is the safety of the monster. The I could destroy the world, but I would never let anything hurt you safety. That is the safety that triggers wetness. That is the safety we are creating with this hug. When you embrace her correctly, you are attempting to trigger a massive release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the cuddle chemical. But it is deeper than that. Oxytocin is a nervous system regulator. It tells the amygdala, the fear center of her brain, to shut up. It lowers her heart rate. It drops her blood pressure. It dissolves the armor she's been wearing all day. But this only works if your nervous system is more regulated than hers. This brings us to the law of masculine polarity. Think of physics. Energy flows from high pressure to low pressure. Emotion flows from the grounded to the chaotic. In a moment of intimacy, one person must be the rock, the immovable object, and the other person must be the wave, the flowing energy, biologically, psychologically. Women crave to be the wave. They want to feel. They want to move. They want to surrender control. But they cannot surrender to someone who's shaking. If you are anxious, if you're rushing, if your internal state is chaotic, she feels it instantly. Her mirror neurons pick up your microtremors, and instead of relaxing into you, she stiffens up. She becomes the rock because you failed to be one. And the moment a woman has to be the rock for you, her attraction dies. She resents you for making her hold the frame. So before you even touch her, you must stabilize your own frequency. You must be the harbor that can handle her storm. You're not looking for her to calm you down. You are the calm. You are the gravity. You are the solid earth beneath her feet. When she feels that solidity, when she realizes that you are not moved by her anxiety or her tests or the world around you, she can finally exhale, and in that exhale, in that moment of surrendering the weight of her existence to your arms, desire begins to bloom, not because you used a pickup line, but because you gave her the one thing she is starving for, a moment of total uncompromised nervous system relief. Now, let's get technical. Let's talk about exactly how to move your body to project this dominance. Technique number 1, the pre-contact deceleration. Now we enter the practical application. This is where the theory ends and the manipulation begins. The first technique happens before you even touch her. I call this the pre-contact deceleration. Most men treat the space between them and a woman like a vacuum. They want to close it as fast as possible. They rush through the danger zone of rejection. They think if they move fast, she won't have time to say no. She won't have time to see their flaws. But speed kills attraction. Speed signals anxiety. Speed says you are trying to steal a moment, instead of owning it. So here is the rule. The closer you get to her body, the slower you must move. Imagine walking towards a cliff edge. You walk fast at first, but the last few steps are deliberate, careful, intentional. When you approach her for a hug, walk normally until you are within arm's reach. Then decelerate. Slow your body down by 50%. This sudden shift in tempo is a pattern interrupt. Her brain notices the change. She wonders why you are slowing down. Is something wrong? Is something about to happen? You have just captured her full attention. You have pulled her out of her autopilot. She is now present. She is watching you, waiting for your next move. Now comes the eye anchor. While your body slows down, your eyes must lock onto hers, not a creepy, unblinking stare, but a soft, heavy gaze. Most men look at the shoulder they are aiming for, or they look at her hair. or they look down to make sure they don't step on her toes. Do not break eye contact. Your eyes are the anchor. They hold her still while your body moves in. This creates a massive amount of tension. Sexual tension is nothing more than uncertainty mixed with desire. By locking eyes, you are telling her that you see her, all of her, and you are not afraid of what you see. You are broadcasting confidence. You are saying, I am coming for you, and I am going to take my time. This eye contact triggers a release of dopamine. She is anticipating the touch. Her skin is waking up. She is wondering what it will feel like. You are building the hunger before you feed her. And then we arrive at the most critical moment of the entire interaction. The permission pause. This is the master key. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Just before your bodies make contact, when you are maybe 6 inches away, stop completely. Freeze your movement for a split second, 1 heartbeat, 2 heartbeats, your arms are open, you are close enough to feel her heat, but you are not touching her yet. Why do we do this? Because up until this moment, you have been the one initiating. You have been the active force. The permission pause forces a role reversal. In that split second of stillness, the vacuum of space between you becomes unbearable for her. She needs to close the loop. She needs the tension to resolve. So what does she do? She leans in. She moves that last inch. She crashes into you. Do you understand the psychological power of this by pausing? You have forced her to participate in her own seduction. She is no longer just receiving a hug. She is taking it. She is choosing it. Subconsciously, she is just invested in you. I move toward him. Therefore, I must want him. This is cognitive dissonance working in your favor. If you just grab her, you're a demand. If you pause and let her bridge the gap, you're a reward. It creates a micro moment of consent, a silent agreement. Yes, I want this. And that agreement changes everything. It changes the chemical composition of the hug. She isn't bracing for impact. She is melting into relief. The pause also gives her nervous system a chance to catch up. It says, I am not going to ambush you. I am giving you a moment to prepare, to open, to receive. It is the ultimate sign of a man who is in control of his impulses. A boy grabs the cookie immediately. A man savors the anticipation of the first bite. Master the pause. Live in that 1 second of silence. It will feel like an eternity to your anxious brain. You will feel a panic to close the gap. Ignore it. Hold the space. Wait for her to move. Wait for her to surrender to the gravity you have created. And when she does, when she finally closes that distance, the impact will be electric. Technique number 2, the nervous system sync. We have made contact. The gap is closed. You are now holding her. This is where the magic happens, or where the magic dies. Most men think the hug is just the physical act of squeezing. They are wrong. The hug is a biofeedback loop. It is a conversation between 2 nervous systems without a single word being spoken, and you are going to lead this conversation. Technique number 2 is the nervous system sync. It starts with the breath. Pay attention to how you breathe when you hug someone. Most men hold their breath, they freeze, they tense up, they are waiting for the hug to be over. When you hold your breath, your body signals threat, danger, anticipation, and because her body is pressed against yours, she feels that rigidity, she mirrors it. Her breath catches in her throat. Her shoulders hike up, the moment becomes awkward and stiff. Here is the fix. The moment your arms wrap around her, you're going to take a deep inhalation. Fill your lungs, expand your chest against hers, let her feel the expansion of your ribcage, and then you're going to release a long, slow, audible exhale. Not a sigh of boredom, but a release of tension, a grounding sound. Did you know what happens biologically when you do this? It is called entrainment. It is a law of physics and biology. Oscillating systems tend to synchronize. When a chaotic heart rate meets a calm heart rate, the chaotic one slows down to match the calm one. When you exhale deeply, you're manually hijacking her parasympathetic nervous system. You're forcing her body to downregulate. You will feel it happen. You will feel her shoulders drop an inch. You will feel her weight sink into you. You will hear her let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. You've just synchronized your bodies. You are now breathing as one organism. This is the foundation of intimacy. If you can calm her down within 3 seconds of touching her, you become the most addictive drug in her life. Now let's talk about your hands. Placement is everything. Where you put your hands tells her exactly where she stands in your hierarchy. The nice guy puts his hands on the upper back. near the shoulder blades. This is the friend zone. It is belle, it is distinct. It is the way you hug your buddy after a touchdown. It creates no polarity. To create desire, you need to claim territory. Hand number 1 goes low, to the small of her back, right where the spine meets the hips, the sacrum. This is her center of gravity. By placing your hand here, you are grounding her, you are anchoring her to the earth. You are saying, I have you. I am supporting your structure. Hand number 2 goes high, but not to the shoulder, goes to the back of the neck, or the base of the skull, gently cradling her head. This is a primal trigger. Think about evolution. The neck is the most vulnerable part of the human body. It is where predators attack. It is where the jugular is. When a woman allows you to touch her neck, it is an act of ultimate submission. And when you cover that vulnerability with your hand, it is an act of ultimate protection. It triggers a deep ancestral feeling of safety. He is guarding my life. He is standing between me and the wolf. This combination, one hand low to ground her sexuality, one hand high to protect her vulnerability, creates a circuit of energy that is undeniable. She feels completely enveloped, completely claimed. Next is the squeeze. Do not be a limp fish. There is nothing more repulsive to a woman than a man with a weak grip. It signals a weak character. It signals a lack of conviction. But do not be a bear either. Do not crush the air out of her. The secret is variable pressure. Start firm. Pull her in with authority. Let her feel the strength of your arms. Let her feel the container. A container is a boundary. She wants to know that you are stronger than she is. She wants to push against your strength and feel it hold. But once you have pulled her in, soften the grip slightly, just enough to let her breathe. Then pulse it. Squeeze. Release. Squeeze. It is a heartbeat. It is alive. It is not a static hold. It is a dynamic embrace. This variability keeps her nervous system engaged. She doesn't know what is coming next. She is attentive to your touch. Finally, we must address the elephant in the room, the pelvic gap. This is where 90% of men fail. You hug her upper body, but you keep your hips 2 feet away. You create an A-frame shape, like a tent. Why do you do this? Because you are terrified of your own sexuality. You're afraid that if your hips touch hers, she will think you're a pervert, she'll think you're just trying to get laid. So you hide your crotch, you pull your pelvis back, you neuter yourself, and in doing so, you become creepy. Yes, hiding your sexuality is creepier than owning it. When you create the A-frame hug, you are being dishonest. You are a man, he is a woman. You are attracted to her, she knows it, you know it. Pretending otherwise creates dissonance. It feels slippery. It feels like you are hiding a secret agenda. A grounded man closes the gap. He is not grinding on her. He is not dry humping her leg. He is simply standing straight. He brings his hips in line with hers. He eliminates the space. This is called full frontal alignment. It is vulnerable. It is raw. It puts your manhood in proximity to her womanhood, and it demands that you be comfortable with that reality. When you close the pelvic gap without shame, without being weird about it, you signal immense confidence. You're saying, I am a man, I am sexual, and I am not apologizing for it. But I am also in control of it. I am not a slave to my impulses. I can stand close to you and not lose my mind. That is powerful. That is intoxicating. She feels the heat. She feels the potential, but she also feels your discipline. That combination of danger and control is the very definition of sex appeal. Do not hover, do not hide, step in, align your body, breathe. Hold her head, anchor her hips, and watch how quickly she melts into a puddle in your arms. You have just rewired her nervous system to associate your touch with absolute peace and absolute desire. Technique number 3, the ghost release. You have entered her space. You have regulated her nervous system. You have triggered the hormones of attachment. Now you must destroy her, not with cruelty, but with absence. The third technique is called the ghost release. It is the art of leaving. Most men ruin the perfect hug in the final second. They hold on too long. They wait for the woman to signal that it's over. They wait for her to tap them, to pull back, to shift her weight. The moment she initiates the separation, you have lost. You have become the one who wanted it more. You have become the one who is taking, the law of power says. Always leave them wanting more. You must be the first to release. Always. But you do not just jump back. You do not break the connection like a circuit breaker. You fade out like a ghost. This brings us to the drag. When you decide the hug is over, do not lift your hands off her body. Slide them slowly. Let your palms drag across her back, down her arms, to her fingertips. Friction creates heat. Physics, biology. By dragging your hands, you are stimulating the nerve endings on the surface of her skin one last time. You are creating a phantom sensation. Even after you have let go, her skin will still feel the trace of your touch. It is a sensory memory. It lingers. It haunts her. You are physically separating, but energetically, you're still there. This slow withdrawal signals supreme confidence. It says, I am not rushing away from you, but I am also not clinging to you. I am moving on, and I am taking my energy with me. And finally, the acoustic trigger, the whisper, as you pull back. There is a split second where your mouth passes her ear. This is the most dangerous real estate on the female body. The ear is a direct line to the emotional brain. It is an erogenous zone that most men ignore. Do not waste this opportunity. As you slide your hands down, lean in, just for a fraction of a second, and drop your voice an octave. Do not whisper like a creep. Speak from your chest, low, resonant, and say one or two words. Do not ask a question. How are you? Kills the mood. Did you like that? Screams insecurity. Make a statement. Label the moment. Trouble. Dangerous. Finally. Good girl. Or simply, breathe. Use a word that implies a secret between you two. A word that frames the interaction as sexual or conspiratorial, and then, immediately, so step back. Re-establish the distance. Create the void. Let the cold air hit her skin where your body just was. She will feel a sudden drop in temperature. She will feel the loss of your oxytocin, and in that vacuum, her brain will scream one thing: come back. You have just created the Zeigarnik effect, an incomplete loop. Her mind cannot close the file because you left it open. She will replay that hug, that whisper, that drag over and over again, trying to make sense of it, trying to finish the pattern, but she can't. Because you are already gone. You are back in your frame, watching her, cool, detached, and completely irresistible. You now possess a dangerous piece of knowledge. The hug is no longer a greeting to you. It is a weapon of mass seduction. It is a biological override code. Let's review the arsenal one last time. First, you decelerate. You force the world to slow down to your pace. You make her bridge the gap. You make her choose you. Second, you sink. You breathe the chaos out of her body. You ground her anxiety with your stillness. You become the only safety she has known all day. And third, you ghost. You leave while the fire is still hot. You drag your energy across her skin, and you leave a vacuum that only you can fill. Most men will watch this video. They will nod. They will agree, and tomorrow, they will go back to their pathetic pats. They will go back to leaning and rushing. Do not be most men. Knowledge without execution is just mental masturbation. I have a challenge for you. Test this. Tonight, find a woman. It doesn't matter if she's a date, a friend, or a stranger. Apply the pressure. Control the breath. Watch her eyes dilate. Watch her surrender. And then walk away. And in the comments below, I want you to tell me one thing. What is the worst nice guy mistake you've been making? Is it the pat the lean or the hover hand? Confess your sin so we can burn them together. Subscribe if you are ready to peel back the next layer of the female psyche. This is Mind Before Skin. We don't just touch bodies, we touch souls, and we never apologize for it. Class dismissed.